Hi Flosstube, it's Janet with Janet Jabber. I'm coming at you with episode 290. If you're new to my channel, this is a channel about cross stitch, so I hope you like what you see. Please subscribe, comment, do all the YouTube things. If you're a returning friend, thank you so much for coming back this week to see what we're up to in this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful season of spring. I have a lot to share with you this week. I have a question to start off with to answer from someone. They had asked me in regards to my winter sampler seasons, winter by Blueberry Ridge, what I meant by colorist. I had mentioned it, so I think I'm saying that right. It is a DMC color called colorist. It is the one I did was 4515, and you can see there are 4 different colors in this, so it's variegated. And in this, there are 4 colors of DMC that you can reference on the DMC website, I think is where you can get them at. And then I pulled those, and from that, I took this chart and I copied it, and then I took coloring pencils and I colored it in so that the decisions were already made ahead of time on what I was going to color where. And then I stitched it as I went in the different colors. So for this particular piece, what I'm referring to is like the border is done in this color, and then you can see the solid house. This is one of the colors, 2, 3, 4, and then I would use the colorist again here. This is a solid. This was the colorist. So you kind of get what I did. And I'm doing that for all 4 seasons. So I'm currently working on spring, and you'll see that when I pull that out. Again, one color of DMC that's called colorist, and then 4 colors of DMC that make up that, and then I am going at the chart making it like this. So I am enjoying this a lot. I get lots of comments that this looks really cool, and this was not my original idea. This was EJ from the Sunshine Stitchers idea, and I was like in on that of like, hey, I'm gonna take that and run with it, and she was like, go for it, girl. So there was that. With that, I have a couple other announcements at the beginning besides answering that question. Over the weekend, there was an opening of a new LNS. It's our friend Stacy on here, Thread the Needle Stitchery. It was opened in Tennessee, I believe Eastern Tennessee, Greensville. I think that's correct in the town. So if that is near you, go check that out. I probably have a picture I stole from her ribbon cutting ceremony off of her social media. Very fun for her and exciting for her family. Another LNS that has opened recently is also Sarah Memphis Ease. It's called Stitchers Memphis. I missed when her grand opening was, but I know it's opened recently also. Zan reached out to me and shared this picture that I was spotted on the television in the store, so that was super cute. So I wish both of my friends lots of luck in regards to their LNS adventures. It's so exciting, and I hope to be able to, in my retirement, maybe make a loop and go see their stores. That would be very exciting to go do there in regards to that. But also other adventures that are going on out there are retreats. And I'm going to mention this again, and I'm going to need to reach out, or I know Miss Flossie sometimes watches my videos, so if you see this and it's full, please let me know so I can stop telling people. But I mentioned this a few times in a row, but Miss Flossie has a retreat going on in September. Again, I am not going to it. I am just super busy. I am at the end of that month going to be on a vacation with my husband and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, so I cannot attend this, but it is September the 19th through the 21st in Tempe, Arizona. You can find out information at stitchflossie.com, and she had openings, and she had reached out to me to tell me. So again, Miss Flossie, if it is closed, please let me know so I can stop shouting this out. But you can also, if there are people or LNSs that you are interested in, like that's how you find out. You follow them. But this is her first ever, so she had reached out and told me that it was going on. I know like Craft Gallery has one going on. I know that previous attendees get first choice, but I know Stitch Away information is coming out. So if they have openings, that should be coming out. That is by Keepsakes. So keep your eyes and ears open, basically, for future retreats. That's the thing. I know there's a floss tuber on here, Roberta and I can't think of their names right now off the top of my head because I suck. I don't, but I remember this brain sometimes. But there are ways to find out people where some retreats are held. This cat is coming to visit us again. It constantly wants to be part of our world. All right, so let's get into what we do on here also. I have in my description box below a Happy Mail form. That is where I pull addresses from to send out Happy Mail. I look forward to doing that every single month. So if you want a chance to have a random piece of mail come in the mail, that's where you do it at. So please fill that out. With that, something else that I do on this channel is my featured friends section, and I have a few entries, so I'm super excited to share this one. This is my friend Christina, who has been trying so desperately for us to hook up, and I hope this is the year, Christina. I truly hope this is the year that you and I finally get to hook up. Do not put your nails in any of my stuff. Okay, so Christina has 3 pieces to share with us. The first piece here is a framed piece that she keeps in her sewing area, her sewing room. It is a cute framed piece that talks about stitching. I love the frame and the brightness of this, so it is super cute. She says it is gorgeous, and it doesn't show up in this picture. It doesn't do it any justice. And I know it's behind the season, but we also have 2 cute little pillows to share her finishing of. It is a Santa pillow and then a nice little winter pillow. Those have been probably tucked away, ready for the end of this year when they need to come out again. But thank you very much for sharing those with me. And I look forward to hopefully crossing paths with you this year. That would be amazing. We talk about maybe the thing we need to do is set up an Always in Stitches meet and greet, because that would be like a closer venue for both of us to meet up at. We got to make that happen. All right, with that, we're going to get into my stitching. I have 10 pieces of stitching to show you. I have 2 finishes and 8 whips, and I am so excited to show you this. I also have a few things at the end in regards to a package, a magazine, a card, so stick around and let's get into this. So the cat is up here getting some lovin's, but he's going to have to stop. I'm going to pull my stuff off the table because last week he decided to make a nuisance of himself up there, and we're not going to let him do that. All right. So the first thing that I have for a finish is Bloomy Timey Town. I told you, I think that I was probably closing in on that because it had a bunch of little ninja stitches to do. And I did, and I got it finished, and I love it. I love that finish on there. And now my plan is to keep one Tiny Town going. So I have another one that's already started. It is Honey a Tiny Town, and I will not start another Tiny Town until that one is finished. So that is where that is. We have to find where to put things because the cat has decided at this venture in its life, it's going to sit on my table that I usually put stuff. The next finish was like, I have 2 of these started. And again, I only want 1 of series is going. So like, let's get this done. This is Gather Moments by Hands On Design. I have the fall one started. This was really kind of a quick to do, and I just knocked it out at the end of the week. I need to, in my brain, I need to finish these. Will be a framed piece and then circles. I was part of the club when the circle ones were coming up. They're not well rounded, but they were rounds. So Gather Round, that's what it was called. Yeah. So there's that one. And that was my finishes for the week. So the next thing I have to share with you soon, maybe my soonness will be retirement when I actually start finishing things. You always think you're going to have lots of time. I got lots of people telling me you're just as busy in retirement. All right, my queen is coming out to share with you what we have done. Queen of Freedom. Again, my goal for Queen of Freedom is to have her done by the time I retire. This is where I'm at. And I worked in this bottom part, like here. I finished in some white, some of this, like it's 451, I think, and I'm over here filling in also. So it's the last little foof of her dress down here. And then it'll be Kreinik and beads. So she is definitely staying on target and staying on task in regards to her. I try to do 100 stitches a day on her. Sometimes I come in under, sometimes a little bit over, but I just keep plugging away. The next thing that I have is my seasonal stitch that I'm currently working on. It is my spring sampler. This is what it will look like. This is a very variegated. I do not have a highly variegated one like that. And this is where I'm at. So I connected the border, which I'd already done that with you last. I got all the dark flowers done. I finished off the word spring will go in here. I got the 2 wheels done and the branch. So I brought this over to show you. My board's not like sticking very well for me, is it? The colorist for this one is 4,500 exactly. So that is what this is. And then there are, as you can see, kind of, there are 4 solid colors in here. So it's like 2 greens and 2 pinks is what it is. And so I've already pulled the solid. So that's the solid pink, light pink, solid dark pink. There's a solid, well, this is one of the solid dark greens. And then leaves are the other solid dark green. So, so those will pop as I go through that. Yay. I stopped on the bicycle because I didn't know. I was kind of struggling where to go. So I haven't fully colored this chart in, and so that has to be done for me to move forward. I have a couple more parts before I have to commit on all the pieces, but committing is what I'm doing. I am so excited to share this with you because Cindy from my sit and stitch this last weekend said, she was like praising me, and I love Cindy dearly. She's been a friend for a long time, and she was like, I love seeing this piece and what you're doing to it. So here you go, Cindy, because I didn't have it with me. So what I'm talking to you about is Maps of Hawk Run Hollow. This is just a photocopy. I had done all of the hawk, and I had put it away because I wasn't loving it anymore. And then I decided to smash it over and just pull in what I love about this chart and to reimagine it. So reimagine it is what I'm doing. There is my hawk. There is the fullness of my hawk. Oh my gosh, Janet, do it right. Do it justice, Janet, do it justice. There is the fullness of my hawk. I brought the border down finally. I still have to do the inside black, so that'll probably be done in the next 2 days. I work on this every single day also. About 100, 130, 100, I don't know, 100-ish stitches also. So you can see where it's coming to life. I knew where I was like going, so I'm working on plug-in stuff now. So this will be done. I got to finish off this house. The waterway 100%, so that's a lot of fill in. I'm sure grass is going here. I feel like a few birds up here. It's not going to be full, but definitely more pops of certain things need to happen. But I love it. I love it, love it. Soon, when it will tell me when it's done. I just know it will tell me when it's done. And I love it. So I'm glad I didn't give up on it, and I'm glad that I let it re-speak to me and reimagine it. Speaking of making changes, this is another one I made changes on, but this is a made changes on because of Melissa. The Sheba Designs, who makes bags, made these changes, and I was like, girl, I have to have that pattern. This is a pattern that was done for Charlotte's Queen City Retreat back in 2023. So this is Mirabilia's Charlotte, and it's the blue version. She's gorgeous. This is where I'm at on her. I put like 300 stitches in, and I am actually considering calling her here. I'm stitching, and I'm going to stitch her to complete here, and then I will see. But if you know, I've been on this journey for a hot minute to decide. I was stitching her to remember that retreat and all the wonderful people I met, and she just kind of like calls to me there. But we'll see. We'll see as I go along. This next piece I stitch on every single month, and I try to put like 300 stitches in, and this is Christmas Gingerbread Village by Little Fox Stitching is who it's by. I am digging this so much, and it gets little stitches. Opie's about ready to bark on us. Hopefully not. I took the doggies for a walk so that we could have some calmness. That's always the plan every single Monday. All right, so basically I just came down here and worked on this house some more. I'm avoiding the snow, and I need to stop avoiding the snow, but I'm avoiding it because I haven't 100% decided what I'm going to use to stitch with it. I need to figure that out. That is an assignment. That is an assignment. Before I get this out next, I need to figure out my life with the snow. I'm telling you this so that I make myself accountable. All right. I know why, Opie's. There's some weird noise outside, so I don't know what's going on. All right, my next thing that I stitched on, and I got very little stitching on, but I did like 300 stitches, but it's the Eras Tour outfits. I was stitching on it, and all I did was fill in Taylor's legs. All I did was fill in her legs, because then all of a sudden, Melina, my dear friend, she was like, are you doing any bling to it? And I was like, bling, I didn't think about that. So now I'm kind of like frozen. She sent me a request to join a group to where other people are doing bling, but I can't find it again, so I got to reach out to her. I probably joined by my phone, and it didn't answer the right questions or something, but I mean, like, if you're a Swiftie, you know there's bling. But my fabric is, yeah, but I also just want it done, so I don't know. I haven't decided. That'll take a lot of thought in order to order bling. This next piece was causing me some havoc, but I think once I get going in it, it'll be great. I found an error. I had to rip out. I had to put back in, blah, blah. But this is Bothy Threads Posy Shoe, which is beautiful. But sometimes the beginning of a project can cause me havoc until I get into it. And this was one of them. But I think we'll get there. So, yeah. Basically, I was up here and came down here and discovered there was an error, so I had to rip out like 40 stitches or so and then put back in. So there's two different colors of green in there, if you can see. And ripping out when you don't know the DMC color, kind of, but I did it, I committed, and we're moving forward. So I love this fabric with this, but I need more stitches in this in order to feel like I'm going forward. So this next one, I would love to get some finishing on, but it's like 1,000 stitches close, and I don't know what this week's going to hold to me, but I'm going to try to commit to doing like 100 stitches on it a day, but I don't know if that's going to work because this is a busy week. So this is my Mirabilia, the Miss New Year's Eve. Again, I would like to get to where I only have one fairy going, and currently I have two. So this is what she will look like, and this is where she's at. I'm almost done with the normal floss. So I have to do this kind of floss along here, and then I'm down the Kreiniken beads. So like it really should be moving along. We'll see. And then last but not least, I was super excited to get this done this weekend. I scored right before bed. I told my husband I got 30 more stitches before I can go to bed. And it was to score my 500 stitches on my butterfly Afghan. Yay! So I'm staying on target, 500 more stitches. I do 500 a week and get it done. So super excited about that. And that is my stitching for this week. I have a few more things to share with you. Opie's giving me the evil eye. I'm going to try to ignore him and see if we can get through these stitches. Or the last things here. But we'll see. He really wants to come and say hi. Okay, the evil eye won. And he got to come and say hi to you guys. He just likes to come and be a part of this recording, I guess. Okay. All right, so sit down and let's finish off this. All right, so I got a Happy Easter card from my friend Lisa. Thank you so much for that cute little card. And Easter is right upon us, so that is coming up this weekend. I also got a purple package from my dear friend Sammy. Super excited about my purple package. Hey, you can't do that. You can sit here. My purple package Sammy is the Tiny Hummingbird Stitchery. I got my May chart for the Tiny Mini Village, monthly Mini Village. And I got the Atomic Ranch Forget-Me-Not fabric, 36 count. It's a beautiful piece of blue. And then I'm gonna need you guys to let me have my stuff. I also got in my Just Cross Stitch magazine edition. This was super cool, and there are some really good things in here. So if you haven't got the magazine, I suggest. I know that Caesar Stitch usually does a flip through. I think Laura Stitching by the Shore sometimes talks about these. So a good. They have changed some format stuff in here that's super cool. So that's awesome. And then what do I have planned for this week? So I start my April mini village. So I do that every single month. I want to try to get that fairy done. We'll see what other things I tackle. Of course, I do my dailies that I daily stitch on, my seasonal stitch, my monthly focus. So we'll see. This is a busy week. I have a funeral. A friend of mine lost her parent, so I go to do that. I have my boss retires this week, so I ordered a cake and we're going to get that for him. So kind of little things like that. No appointments this week, so that's exciting, but I have those kind of obligations. I watch the grandkids one day in regards to handle that. So, but I want to talk to you about community stuff before I get into my personal. I get a letter from a chiropractor every single week, and has different like bullet points on it. And this week, one of the bullet points I thought was very intuitive in regards to community. And I wanted to bring this up, and it is a different spin on community, but the take on it, stay with me and listen. Okay. So it talks about daily check-ins may improve quality of life in cancer patients. And the reason I say stay with me is because it talks about cancer patients, but I think about this in all aspects of mental health and in regards to just people as far as a community goes. So it says a recent study found that oncology patients who check in daily with their care team report symptoms such as pain or mobility issues were less likely to visit the emergency room and maintain a higher level of well-being during treatment. This is reported from Natural Medicine during February of 2025. And I think, in regards to community, how does that go in regards to us checking on our people, checking in regards to just like, check in on your people, or create your own community of people that you have somebody that you just check in with. I have friends that I say hi to, and we may not like literally talk every single day, but we literally use the Snapchat app and we snap each other every single morning. And that's how we stay connected of like, what are you doing? Even my sister, like, hey, what do you got going on today? What are your goals for today? How are you doing? Just simple things like that. And it is a way to stay connected, even if we can't physically talk that day, because like my sister and I work opposite schedules. So, challenge you, basically see if there's a way that you can do something to stay connected with somebody. Again, even if it's not, where you're, and that's the cool thing about having the ability to do the snap or a video message, not just a text message or not just a voicemail, because seeing each other, you guys seeing me every week, there's a visual aspect to it also besides the hearing and the talking. So that would be a community. Another community thing that I'm doing, because it's that time of the year of spring cleaning, I have some books that I have purchased in the past and basically not gravitated toward reading, and they're not my eclectic anymore, that I am going to take to the little libraries and so they can get circulated out in the world. I have some foods that are not expired that my grandkids have moved past, of like baby foods not expired. I'm going to take them to the food pantries. Oh, you're so cute. And move those along. So again, those can get used in the world before they become expired. So that's another way that you can be helpful in the community. So there's that. With that, I'm going to move into the personal life. Personal life around here, I had this cute little picture where I was hanging out with the grandkids before I went to work one day. That was super fun, and it was a good stop by and hang out. I did have my mammogram done. I'm posting a picture here of, I do this picture every single year, and I send it out to my people that I had my mammogram check for my yearly. And Then I also had a stop by retirement picture of a gentleman that I had worked with for a 10-year time period. And there was a snap picture of a bunch of us that were health and safety trainers. I did that for a 10-year stint in my career with the General Motors facility. So that was fun to go back and to say hey and goodbye to a gentleman that put in a very long time. And it was good to see him finally decide to step out the door and to revisit with a couple of gentlemen that had already gone. So it was good to give hugs and say hey and all that stuff. So that was it on the personal life. With that, I hope you are getting some spring cleaning done, enjoying this weather, and Opie wanted to make sure he didn't miss an appearance. He needs to get a bath. It's time for his springtime too. So I'm gonna get out of here so you can get on to your next video. Opie says goodbye. He's tired with us. So please keep stitching, enjoy life, and I'm sending you so much love. Bye.